Welcome everybody back to Two Deans and No Waiting. My name is Dean. Thank you, Cass, for joining me again.
Thank you for having me, Dean. I appreciate it so much, Dino.
You know what? It's been a while since I did a podcast. Dean's been busy, and I have not wanted to really do anything because I wanted to kind of collect my thoughts and make sure that I'm presenting the most accurate information I can give my two listeners. I don't even know where to start. Geopolitically, domestically, this is a fucking mess. And
there's so much going on. It's unbelievable how much is going on.
And I'm serious when I'm telling the American people to get ready. Day X is upon us. The Great Reset is upon us. A big major false flag. Western civilization is crashing. I'm not trying to fear monger. Like, I don't know where I want to start off with the Kirk assassination, which was a total professional hit by the CIA and Mossad. The narrative is bullshit. We could talk about that later, but now the clear and present danger is that for the last 2 days, you've had Pete Hegseth, who's the head of defense or the Department of War, calling in all admirals and generals, 200 from all over the world, to come in a special meeting. Now, they're not just playing Yahtzee. Okay, there's something big getting ready to happen. Dean and I have been talking about it. I don't know if there's a major purge or if they're getting ready to go to war with Russia or Iran. This is huge. It's not good. And we can start off by also talking about ICE being attacked. From what I hear, Antifa and the communists have gotten together and they're attacking ICE. It's almost like a full-out war. I'm telling you now, he's going to probably send troops into Portland. Portland is a mess. You have military soldiers on the streets already. You have the talks in Russia have collapsed. Ukraine and Russia and Europe are going to be possibly at all. It's going to be an all-out war. What do you think, Kaz?
Well, first of all, I want to start off by saying, you should be getting ready. In fact, my wife and I today, we went to a training firearms class, a 4-hour trainings firearm class, and you should be doing that too. You should absolutely be getting ready because things are just off the charts. I mean, just like Dino said, it's like you're sitting down at a restaurant and everything is on the menu. It's like, which battle do you want to choose? Because it's absolutely ridiculous. And, getting back to the generals and the admirals, my personal belief is that is not a bluff by any means. The United States means business. They are not trying to bluff Russia into making a move. They are not trying to bluff our opponents into thinking that we might do something. There's no might or maybe about this. The United States is getting ready to do something really big. They would not be doing this if they weren't serious about making some giant move.
It's either that or some type of preemptive attack. It's like the United States wants Russia to attack, and they haven't. And they're playing chess, and Putin is very calm, although his hardliners are upset because all this is happening. You definitely don't want him out and somebody else in, because that could be out of the frying pan into the fire. And another thing I have to question is America anticipating a nuclear attack on Europe? Is that why all the generals from all over the world have been sent here?
What's that? You were breaking up there.
Do you think that America is anticipating some type of nuclear attack or some type of false flag that's going to involve dirty bombs in Europe? And this is why they're sending generals and admirals home.
I think that they are trying to force Russia into making a move, but I also firmly believe that the United States is not going to wait on making a possible move, whether it's through Ukraine, whether it's attacking Iran. And then you got to remember, on the back burner, we have Venezuela there as well. So there's a ton of oil in Venezuela that the United States is not going to let go of.
Right. And I just read an article before we just came on that they're getting ready to start a confrontation and drop bombs on Venezuela. But this also could be about Iran, and you're right, because Netanyahu has Trump by the balls, and
Yes.
and care what anybody thinks, Trump is compromised, just like any other politician, and he'll do anything he wants right now. I think there's a good. They could declare war on Iran very soon. I wouldn't be surprised.
Netanyahu has Trump by the balls, which is number one, why he did not release the Epstein list, and number two, which is why they took out Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk woke up and realized what Israel truly is.
Exactly, and I do believe that. Like I said, man, there is so much going on, and I bet anything within the next few months, big shit is going to happen. We could just talk about Charlie Kirk, and since you brought that up, I mean, that was a total professional hit. Yeah. One thing is for sure, I'm 100% sure. The narrative is a lie. It's a cover up. This exposes Kash Patel and how he is not running anything. He couldn't run a party store right now. He couldn't run a 7-Eleven right now. This guy's not in charge. It's the deep state. They're lying. Don't trust the fucking narrative. If you don't have a bullet, they don't have a bullet. They don't have a confession. So if you don't have a bullet, then how do you know that gun is real?
Right.
You don't have a bullet. How do you know that gun is real? And Israel is right, because Israel and Mossad and the CIA definitely, I think, collaborated to do this hit. There's a motive, and he was turning against Israel. He was turning against Netanyahu. He even said, was it on Patrick Bet David 3 months ago, that they're committing genocide. This is huge. He's a Christian nationalist, and you've heard on our show, Dean and I have talked about how they get a lot of their money from the Christian right. That can't stop. There's the motive, and they definitely wanted him dead. When 5 out of the 6 security personnel were from Israel, do you know that?
Yeah.
So that was an
the other thing. The other big reason they wanted him dead is because Charlie is so tied to the youth of America. They cannot have the youth of America to get the truth. The youth of America cannot wake up at all. They cannot. Can you imagine how bad it would be if the youth in America actually knew the 100% honest truth? It would be devastating to the New World Order.
Of course. And another thing that you touched upon is so very true. Charlie Kirk started to wake up and realize that a lot of that leftist ideology was coming from Jewish lobbies, right? The open borders, the transgenderism in schools, all that stuff that these colleges are supporting. He realized that a lot of Jewish lobbies, a lot of Israeli donors have to answer for this. Even said it himself. So you're absolutely right. There's a narrative there. The narrative is fucking bullshit. Don't believe the narrative. It's all crap. I mean, how long does it take Americans to figure out that 9/11 was an entire? You don't trust the narrative. Okay, if you're a conservative, if you're a conservative, all of a sudden now you're going to tell me you're listening to the corporate media that told you 5 years ago to take the vaccine? Okay, then I suggest you go take your vaccine now, since you're listening to the same media that's been lying to you your whole life. I don't understand. People are behind the narrative. You don't have a bullet, then you don't have the gun. You have how many thousands of people were there? Everybody has a gun, right? You mean to tell me there's not one picture of this guy with a gun? And there's not one video of him climbing up the so-called roof, right? Why don't they? And then the FBI is not releasing information. There's 5 minutes of that video they haven't shown. Why not?
Yeah, because it's all an inside job. They took Charlie out for a reason. And they took him out fast, too. They took him out quick.
Oh,
quick.
Exactly. It was so quick. It was so fast. Such a professional hit. There's a guy named Stu Peters. I suggest people watch him and listen to what he's saying about it. So very true. And how he's showing a video of, they think the actual killer is the guy in fatigues who looks more CIA to me, and he presses the detonator. Then they show him hiding this in the video to another guy. He like hands it off to him, like I'm watching a football game, right? I mean, not even 10 seconds after the assassination, they start grabbing things and taking him. That's a crime scene, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how do
Doesn't
you
it
not?
sound similar to
It's
9/11
bullshit.
when they were taking all the building parts? 9/11, within minutes, they were taking all the building parts and shipping it overseas.
Well, wasn't
Same
that
thing as
something?
9/11. Yep,
Wow, crazy, isn't it?
it
You know,
is.
and like I said, the reason why they did this was not only to silence Charlie Kirk, and not only that those rich Jewish donors want to mold our kids in college with this liberal, neoliberal ideology that they've been indoctrinating these kids for years. And he was starting to basically wake up these kids, right? And he was for kids that didn't, conservative kids that didn't have a voice in these college campuses. And he was getting bigger, and the movement was getting bigger. So there's a reason and a motive why they killed him. Don't buy the fucking narrative. Don't trust the government. I don't give a shit if it's on the left or the right. The right is trying to put a spin on it, saying that he was connected to transgender ideology. Bullshit. The left is trying to tell you, even worse, he was MAGA? No. That's the spin that the left and the right put on. The Bloods and the Crips. On this station here, we're political atheists. We don't like either party. It shows me how divisive they are. It shows me how they manipulate the American people. They're not uniting everybody. They're balkanizing everybody. I suggest Americans become more political atheists. Don't trust either party.
Right. And voting is a fraud. I've been saying it for years and years and years. Voting is a fraud. Who are you going to vote for that isn't a criminal? Tell me.
Of course, it's all a Ponzi scheme, right? I agree. Everything from the crashing of the dollar to look where we're at today. You got Americans walking around. I just went shopping with my daughter. They're okay with a whole cart of food costing $700. 5 years ago, it only cost $300. You know, wait a minute. You're okay with this?
Silver went up 3% yesterday.
Unbelievable. Yeah, stock up like you said. And I know you're a prepper. I know you've been getting ready. Shit's about to hit the fan. Geopolitically, domestically, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't send troops to Portland by the end of next week, because Portland is bad right now.
Portland, Oregon?
Yes, Portland, Oregon. Look it up. ICE agents are being attacked. Any way you slice it, this is not good. Are they anticipating civil unrest at home, or are they anticipating a false flag that's going to involve some type of nuclear bombs going off? I said it on the show. Operation Blackjack. A lot of people have no fucking clue what that is.
And I know Detroit and New Orleans are also on that list to get military.
Well, we have Netanyahu gone wild, and we also have Donald Trump in his nationwide tour of what state we going to send military soldiers in next.
Yep, Detroit is on the list. New Orleans is on the list. Crazy.
This is big stuff. And the peace talks have failed. There will be no peace. I just read an article I didn't fucking believe. All of a sudden now they got an agreement in Gaza. He's going to take the West Bank now. This is
crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And where does it stop?
The genocide in Gaza is absolutely horrible.
I know it is. It's awful. And it's just getting worse. You know, and I'm scared that this meeting they're having with these top generals is more than what we even know. I can just speculate, but it's never in the history of I've been around, never remember 200 admirals and generals coming home. If it's a purge, he couldn't fire him over the phone.
Right.
I mean, why does he got to talk to him personally? I mean, like I said, is there something getting ready to happen worldwide? And he's bringing them here, or are they going to get attacked here?
Well, it is going to be a worldwide event. Whether it starts out worldwide or not, it is going to develop into a worldwide situation. You and I already both know that.
For sure. And And another thing that's happened that they don't talk about, just a few days ago, there was a major blackout in Times Square.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's not talk about that. I'm pretty sure that could have been cyber. Is our government getting ready to shut the power grid off?
It's amazing how many things don't make the mainstream media that are critical pieces to the puzzle.
Of course, because they're trying to avoid everything. Look, you can't. Numbers don't lie. How much can you buy with your dollar?
Oh
Nothing.
my God.
The dollar's lost 90% of its purchasing power since 1999. Gold is up
Coffee,
$4,000 an ounce. I've talked about silver. It's still underpriced, and it's $44 now. When I talked about it to Dean, it was at 22. That was 5 months ago.
wow.
Okay, it's gone up
Coffee,
probably 20% in 5 months, maybe.
coffee went up $2 per can, all brands across the board. Coffee went up $2 per can across the board. Chicken, the price of chicken has gone up. Everything is going up, up, up. And part of the reason is because of the Trump tariffs as well.
They're not working. The Trump tariffs are definitely not working in India. They're not working. Again, he was trying to punish countries like India and what other country that were buying oil from Russia. It's
Right.
not. They're like, go fly a kite, bro. This shit ain't working.
India
It's not only about the tariffs. The dollar's been sucking for a long time. It's what the Federal Reserves have done to this country. I blame them more than Biden, and I blame more than Trump. Trump is not, I don't think it's helping much, but you know very well that printing the dollar in these endless wars and supporting countries like Israel, we give $6 billion a year to a country that does nothing but spy on us, you know?
And then India is increasing its friendship with China and Russia.
I know it's not good. It is not good. And you know, there is something definitely going on. I've said it for weeks. It's more than just domestic, because if it involves admirals and generals, this is geopolitical. And I think it's more than just a purge. A purge could be some of it, but I definitely guarantee you that there's something going on geopolitically, and it has to do with Ukraine, Russia, Iran. That's all linked together. You know, and not to mention now they're talking about dropping bombs on Venezuela. How much money is that going to cost the taxpayer dollars?
Oh, my goodness. This is why it's so important that you and your family and your spouse or whatever, you take the time to get ready. Like I said already earlier, my wife and I went to a 4-hour firearms class this morning because we know things are happening. We know things are developing. You've got to get yourself and your spouse and your family ready. Anything that you can do, whether it's training, information, knowledge, prepping, storing stuff, putting stuff away for a rainy day, gold, silver, and the physical in your hand, do it. You've got to start doing it now.
So let me ask you a question, Kaz, because you and I have been paying attention to this for 20, 30 years. We've been reading about it. I'm not even going to talk about the vaccine because we're over it. We already know that. I'm talking about geopolitical today and definitely domestic. I want to ask you, what do you seriously think this false flag is?
I already know it's going to be a major escalation to World War III. It just depends on which avenue they're going to use. Are they going to go through Venezuela? Are they going to go through Iran? I don't think it's going to be a direct strike on Russia, but I do believe that it's going to escalate the war. I do believe that it's going to cause some problems with Poland because Russia is speaking about Poland and telling them to be careful because Russia gave Poland some of their land that they currently have now in exchange for land that Poland gave up many, many years ago. And this created the main island, the main.
You're talking about Ukraine,
land, right? With Ukraine and Poland, and this is how it's all tied because Russia just said that about Poland. Don't forget that we gave you this land many, many years ago. Don't forget. So they're saying that don't forget that we gave this to you, and at one point in time we were friends, and they're no longer friends anymore. So my point is that this is going to develop into a World War III scenario. It's going to escalate. The question is what is the avenue going to be? Is it going to be through Venezuela? Is it going to be through Iran, or is it going to be through Ukraine? But it is going to escalate the war. It will indeed.
I think you're somewhat right. Venezuela is, yeah, I get it. They produce more oil than the Middle East. I think America's hegemony is done. Western civilization is crashing. It's all done by design. The Zionists have a lot to do with that and their ideology on how the open borders and how they're tearing apart Europe. They're balkanizing everything. They're balkanizing Europe, North America. They're creating divisions, just like shooting Charlie Kirk goes a part of the Zionist fascist plan, right? They want this fascist police state. That's what they do. They want this. Yeah. And they're going to get ready to maybe some civil unrest. Maybe now they're going to attack the other side since they've attacked the conservatives, right?
And that is exactly what Russia wants. Russia wants a civil war in the United States. If the United States has a civil war, that is going to weaken the United States even more. And that is going to give an opportunity to Russia and China to strike the mainland of the United States.
But what I'm telling everybody is they've weaponized the right now, the same way they've weaponized the left by this assassination of Charlie Kirk. So now they turn Charlie Kirk into a martyr, a Martin Luther King type martyr for the conservatives, right? And the Christian nationalists who are fed up. And this is what they want. Now, I'm scared that they're going to do something to the other side, like attack a minority college or kill some protesters protesting against ICE, which could happen as we speak in Portland. Right. And you're exactly right. This is to destabilize the United States. And it's all done by design. And a lot of our politicians have been sold out. A part of the Great Reset is it looks like Trump's going to bring us into the Great Reset. Klaus Schwab talked about that with the World Economic Forum. You could talk about the Trilateral Commission. You could talk about all these organizations in the past that have talking about destroying the dollar, destroying U.S. hegemony. Creating this, putting more power to the East. That all started under Nixon, right? And you know who his top advisor was? Henry Kissinger. Gee, who the fuck was he linked to? Right? And that's when they sold us out to corporate interests. That's when they sold us out to foreign entities. And it's been downhill ever since. They destroyed the dollar with Bretton Woods. They created fiat currency. The petrodollar is dying. No country is buying the dollar. No country's buying oils for dollar no more. It's all changing. And they know that. And America is falling. Western civilization is crashing. And it scares me that living through this.
Getting back to ICE, you know that Trump announced a few days ago that he wants to hire at least 10,000 ICE soldiers or police officers, whatever you want to call them. He wants ICE units in all 50 states, up to 10,000 new soldiers or police officers or whatever ICE people you want to call them, whatever terminology they actually use. They want to hire 10,000 more ICE officers to go through all 50 states. That is insane.
Unreal. And like I said, just look up Portland after we get off air here and look at what's going on. ICE agents are being attacked. I'm telling you, there could be something like that could ignite a back. And they're talking, I tell you, communists and also Antifa, how ironic, so-called anti-fascists. Communists and fascists are the same fucking thing. They're the same. They're like the left wing and the right wing. It's the same bird. So they're uniting against one common cause, who is ICE. And nationwide, okay, this is all done by design, man. And there's going to be possibly civil unrest. Is that what the military is getting ready for? Or are they getting ready for a flag that will be dirty bombs going off in Manhattan? I don't know. I'm just saying there's a risk happening.
It's probably both. Absolutely. It's probably both. My honest answer is it's probably going to be both. Civil war and a dirty bomb. Both.
Well, you got now Trump doing a whole 360 on Russia. I feel as though now, This is Biden 2.0. They're going to stop negotiating. Now he's telling Ukraine. I mean, he was fucking making love to Zelensky on TV the other day. He was fucking rubbing his balls. It was the most
Oh my God.
craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like he did a 360. I'm like, okay, now you're catering to this little pimp. You know how much money the son of a bitch has laundered. He's got 20 homes in Miami. The only bit that's got more homes than him in Miami is Netanyahu. These guys are just making hand over fist in money. They love killing. They love war. It's a part of the death machine. They're a cult.
Let's not forget what Trump originally said. I'm going to end the Ukraine war in 24 hours after I get elected. Remember that?
Right. That's not going to happen. This is a little bit more complex than that. He should have bit his tongue when he said that. And now he's threatening Russia, saying, okay, all right, we're going to let Ukraine, give them more money, give them more ammunition. And he's telling now Ukraine and NATO to shoot down Russian drones and Russian planes. Yes. Okay. It'd easily be a false flag. They can figure out how to do something like that. Blame Russia or whatever. Say that one of their drones comes over, but it's not a Russian drone. It's a Ukrainian drone, and they shoot it over Poland and Latvia. So they're scared that the war is going to spread into Western Europe. Well, you put military soldiers and military weapons right next to Russia's border. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? You know, this is just going to escalate. Right? And I don't see any peace negotiations. It's just going to get worse. And it's scary that he's telling Ukraine that actually after they take what's theirs, they can go and take more and go into Russia. Really? Is that just psyop there? What's all that about? It's crazy, isn't it?
Say that again. You built up a little bit.
I said it's funny that he's telling Ukraine that once they take what's theirs to go into Russia and take more. Did you hear him say that? So
doesn't surprise me.
So what I said was Trump is telling Ukraine not only to take back what was theirs, but to take a part of Russia too.
Oh, gotcha. Yes, yes.
I mean, right? That's not good.
No.
I'm really, really not having faith in this. And there's something huge. I keep on saying it. It's going to happen. It's going to change the landscape of everything. And like you said, it's like a menu. It's a smorgasbord. Just look on the menu. Just pick whatever. And things in Portland are getting hot. Things in Chicago are getting hot. They're anticipating something bigger. I mean, what? Like I said, tell people to get ready. You know, this Charlie Kirk thing is the beginning. There could be more people assassinated, maybe on the other side now, you know, and that could easily start off the Civil War or more civil unrest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, America is definitely on edge, especially since the Charlie Kirk thing. You know, just look how many people have attended his funeral services. Look how many people are still talking about how they are affected emotionally because of what happened. And it was so incredibly dramatic that it literally changed a lot of people like instantly. And then over the period of a few days, a lot of people have woken up politically, but I don't know if that's a good thing because they've woken up politically. Does that mean that they still believe in the corrupt system? How they woke up is a really important question. And what they woke up to is also important to understand. What part of them woke up?
Well, like I said, you have the Newsmax of the world, the conservative media outlet, putting a right-wing spin on it. Then you have CNN on the far left putting a left-wing spin on it. These two-party systems that are one-party system are there to divide the fucking country up even more, which makes me sick to my stomach. They're not talking about unity. One side is saying he deserved it. The other side is treating him like a martyr. There's the division. And there's a whole reason why they did. I think that's why they did it. Not only to silence him, to bring us one step closer to a major conflict in the United States. Right.
Right.
And Charlie was a lot of people. What's that? What? Yeah.
Cause more division.
Of course, that's what they want. They want this balkanization, man. We've talked about it on our show many times. And I'm telling you, like I've said before, I said it to the Democrats, the people that were on the left that were cheering the shutdown and cheering people losing their jobs because they didn't get vaccinated. Now the tyrannies come home, the roosters have come home to roost. Once your rights are taken away, mine are next. So I don't like this. Everybody should have the freedom to assembly. Okay, whether or not you agree with what they say. But this is how they pin everybody off, right? And this is how the government is self-absorbent and they take more rights away from us. Okay, they're not really left or not really on the right. The government, it's this entity to tax you to death, to keep you submissive, keep you a slave, keep you working, and limit your powers. What happened after 9/11? The government got bigger. The government surveillance got bigger. The National Defense Authorization Act. Look where we're at today. Okay, people were hearing that Jimmy Kimmel lost his job. He's a piece of shit. He was okay with people losing their job because they didn't get vaccinated. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. But then again, he got his job back. But what about all those people that got their jobs back that were vaccinated? I don't like tyranny. I don't give a shit if a Democrat does it or a Republican does it. This is why I'm a political atheist, because these parties play off the American people with the false left-right paradigm.
Yes. I agree with you 100%. 100%.
And I'm sick and tired of listening to people who are so fucking one-sided, right? I mean, what's the end game? We know the end game. To take away your rights, depopulation, endless wars. We're living it. Instead of having a United States of America, we have a divided States of America.
Yep, the Georgia Guidestones, my friend.
Yeah, okay, there you go. And Rothschilds and Rockefellers. Yeah, like I said, we go back. We're old school. For the people that have I know a lot of people, we talked about it on our show, how a lot of people have woken up post-pandemic. We've been awake way before then. We don't use words like deep state. That's kind of a newer word used by the conservatives to demonize the left, which they should be. I'm not a leftist. But we call it the globalists, right? The cabal,
right?
The network, the invisible empire. They call it the deep state. Whatever you want to call it, it's there. But we're from the old school. So that's like we use the word globalist. And
New World Order.
Order. What's that?
New World Order.
Exactly. And it's still here. Just because they changed the name, it doesn't mean that they've gone anywhere. They're still here.
Like the Houdin and the Taliban.
Yeah, formerly known as Prince, right? I say that many times. The Mujahideen, the Taliban, Al Qaeda, ISIS, formerly known as Prince. It's the same. It's the same agencies involved. By the way, there's a great documentary I want people to watch with Tucker Carlson about 9/11. If you watched it, if you watched that at all?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
About the one about 9/11. Tucker Carlson just released a documentary about all the stuff that happened 9/11.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's good. It's great. It just released it a week ago. I guess every week.
Oh, okay.
He's got
it's a week ago, then no, I haven't seen it.
It's good. And this is for 9/11 for Dummies.
Is it on YouTube or X?
What's that?
Is it on YouTube or X?
I think it's the bits and pieces of it are on X. I don't know if it's on YouTube because YouTube's become very, kind of mainstream anymore.
Right.
It would be more on X and his own. He's got a website. If you go to his tuckercarlson.com, I'm sure you can find it. But I suggest people watch that. Watch it this weekend. It tells you that the narrative is always bullshit. Just like the narrative after Oklahoma, bullshit. The narrative after bullshit. And this Charlie Kirk narrative is bullshit. You don't trust the government. That's what we tell people. I don't care if it's the elephant or the donkey. What's that?
Timothy McVeigh was on the CIA payroll.
Timothy McVeigh was, and I said we had a show about it, how he was MK Ultra. And like, I don't know if this guy they got in prison, he might be MK Ultra. Sirhan was, but I know he's not the killer. You know,
Right.
I get it. Ain't that funny? Charlie Kirk's wife doesn't want the death penalty. Either conservatives like the death penalty. And this, you have to ask yourself a question. Why? Because she possibly knows that that's a patsy. She's not going to say it.
But is that also because of how religious they are that she doesn't want the death penalty?
Well, usually people that are from the right, look, usually people that are, I remember when I was on the other side, a lot of people were saying no death penalty. That's more of a leftist thing. That's more Democrats and more people on the left that don't want the death penalty. People on the right usually do want it, especially conservatives. Tougher law, you know, due process, all that crap. So I find that kind of funny. But then again, you have people like Rick, who's been on our show, that doesn't even believe it happened. Let's talk about that this was just a show.
Yeah, I've got some cue that say that Charlie Kirk isn't dead yet.
Charlie Kirk isn't dead yet. He's smoking hashish with Elvis and Jim Morrison. I don't know. You know, whatever the case may be, you know, I'm open-minded to all different conversations. This is what our show is, right? We're an open platform. We're actually grassroots. And that's what he says. I'd like to get him back on. I'd like to hear, you know, his opinion on it. But we do agree, and you can agree, the narrative is bullshit.
It is, absolutely.
Few people believe that. I believe that. You believe that. The narrative is bullshit. But I lean more towards it was a professional hit. It happened. Yes. But there's a lot of central casting. There's a lot of lies. But as the days go on, more things come out too. So you never know.
Yep. Stay tuned, buddy. Stay tuned and make sure you're prepping. Make sure you're getting your things in order.
Definitely. And yeah, you know, hopefully we can do a show next week. But I wanted to kind of do an emergency podcast because I have a feeling shit's going to hit the fan. And, you know, if there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, it was a great show. We covered a lot. There's a lot going on, but stay tuned, folks. Make sure you're doing your homework for sure.
Yeah, right. And like I said, I was going to have an asshole of the week, but there's so many of them that I can't pick and choose which one. You know, and hopefully next week we'll be back in our studio. Dean and I will probably do something. But like I said, yeah, be prepared. And you're a prepper, so you know how to prepare, and you can tell people. Yeah, but thank you for joining me.
An hour and a half away. It kind of stinks. I would definitely do more in-studio stuff, but being an hour and a half away, that's a long drive.
Yeah, I know it is. And, you know, you can do it whenever you can. You know, you're more than welcome anytime. I know you can't do it all the time. But thank you for joining me again. And, yeah, tune in next week. We'll do another show. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about something new happening in 5 days.
Yeah, I agree. Something
big.
There's a lot going on for sure.
Keep your eyes geopolitically and internationally. And watch out for Portland. There's some hot stuff going on there right now.
I'll check that out for sure. Portland, Oregon, and then Tucker Carlson on 9/11.
Yes, and I suggest everybody watch that. Definitely. And yeah, thank you for joining me again. And tell everybody we'll be back next week. And don't trust the government.
Right. Thank you for having me.
All right, brother. All right, bye.
Take care. Peace.